Hi, Danny. I'm wearing my orange tie today. I was thinking about Denny earlier, so this is the only tie I've got with any orange in it. Orange was never mine thing, it was always his. I wrote a little bit about this on Facebook, but I want to tell the story just so that you and your daughters can know what it was like when I first met Denny. I had just barely come back from my mission. I thought that I knew a lot about church things. And so I came back, I was really excited, and I was going to an institute class. For the life of me, cannot remember what it was. It was like a Book of Mormon class or a DNC class or something like that. And I looked over my shoulder, two desks behind me to the left, and I see this, 5'3¾", hairy little man. Every class he would show up and just fall asleep. I'd look and he'd be buried down like this. And, it didn't bother me at first. But I always had something to say because I was just back from my mission. I was all gung-ho about everything. So every time the teacher would say something and something came to mind, of course, I'd raise my hand. And every time I'd raise my hand and speak, I would see Denny behind me to the left, always going like this. Like, who is this guy? Why does he have so much to say? I thought it was funny, to be honest with you. And you just had this look, like, the look that Denny would have, where you just look at you like, that was the look he'd always give me. And there was one day I was walking out of there, and I noticed that he had a band T-shirt on of a band that I liked, and he noticed I had a band T-shirt on that he liked. So we talked a teeny bit about that, and I could tell that he was harmless and he was just a nice guy. I just thought it was funny the way he was looking at me at first. So a couple of months later, not even a couple months, maybe a few weeks later, down at the UVU food court, they used to have this little stage. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't even walked in those doors in 15 years. And they had this little stage there, and my band called Beauty for Ashes was going to play there. And so we got up there. We did like a 5-song set or a 6-song set or something like that, and then we just got down off, and that was it. Didn't think anything of it. Well, Denny was sitting there watching. I used to play in a band called Beauty for Ashes where we had acoustic guitars, but we'd still scream to them. And as soon as I started screaming, it was like a magnet drew Denny in. He just immediately went to where he heard the screaming from. And he came in and he was like, "Hey, that was pretty cool. I actually like that. What kind of music do you guys call that?" Because it was acoustic. He's like, "Is it like acoustic screamo?" And so, the triplets and I came up with this term, acoustic bloodcore, and that's what we went by. And if you have that band T-shirt that Denny has with Beauty for Ashes that's why there's a picture of an acoustic guitar with blood coming out of it. Is because that was the style. It's called acoustic bloodcore. And after that, he was like, "Hey, that was pretty cool. You guys can be playing anything else?" And so I handed him this flyer that we were going to be playing at some house party or something. I can't even remember. And of course, he showed up. And every day after, we just started hanging out and just started talking. We'd sit in the Hall of Flags, him, me, and the triplets, and we'd all just sit there and just, talk about dumb things and just be stupid. We had this game that we used to play when somebody would walk by in the Hall of Flags. We would just start yelling out names just to guess the name. And we were never, ever close. You'd see like somebody walk by, Jennifer, Amber, Kylie, and we would just start naming a whole bunch of random names. And every now and then one of us would get and high five each other and stuff. So that's how he and I met. And then a couple of weeks after that, he told me, "Hey, there's this show coming to town." And it was this local band that he liked. And so I went with them to go see it. And then there was a couple of different bands that were coming through that we both liked. We ended up going to the Warped Tour together that year. We went to, I don't know how many rock shows together. It turned into literally every day I'd be over at his place hanging out. That was it was within a few weeks of that, the story I told you about Denny jumping off the 3rd-story balcony. It was all within the same time period. Also during that time, that was around the time that we went and saw the Bled together for the first time. That was when we went together and we started doing bonfires. My cousin, Jared, he goes by Masayoshi now. I don't know why. I don't know why. I haven't asked. But we would get together and we would play acoustic guitar at all these bonfires. We'd just go find places and steal pallets out of their dumpsters and just bring them up the canyon and just go have these gigantic bonfires playing acoustic guitar like crazy. And Denny was at every single one of those. He started going to every single one of my band shows. I would always sit him shotgun next to me. I'd stick my band in the back, but I'd put him shotgun next to me because he and I would be shooting the breeze and just laughing at each other's jokes the whole time. Anyway, like I said, I wore my orange tie because I was thinking of Denny today, and I wanted to tell you the story of how he and I met and how we started hanging out. Hope this brings you some joy today.